It's like the Sphinx. Just have like a tomb around me of books and llama bookends. You know what the funny thing is about these is that they really freaking suck as bookends. Salutations! I'm Becca and this is Words and Other Malarkey, and today I am doing the reading habits book tag because I'm trash and I couldn't think of any ideas, so I was like, I'll just look up a tag. I happened to see that some other booktubers had done this recently, and I was like, ooh, that sounds like fun. The thing is that tags are pretty lazy because you're literally just answering questions about yourself or about your books. So like, yeah, I'll admit to that. It's a pretty easy out, but they're fun, right? And like, who isn't like watching people on the internet talk about themselves, am I right? Okay, so I'm just gonna go through the questions. I jotted these down by hand, and it's like I'm a news anchor. I really need to figure out a better system that doesn't make this so obvious, but I just jotted them down and probably not verbatim. So if I worded any of these questions wrong, I think I got the basic point. So let's just read them, go through them, give you my answers, and you'll learn more about my reading habits. Huzzah! Question number 1. Do you have a certain place at home for reading? I do and I don't. Like, I don't have like a nook or like a nice little chair. I just generally tend to read books on my living room futon, usually on the left side, which is my side because it's the one closest to the outlet so I can charge my laptop, and it has the side table and the lamp. So I tend to read on the left side of my futon, in case you were wondering. But I would really love a book nook one day. That would be like super fun. Or just like a nice little cozy corner with like a chair and some string lights like you see before you. Question number 2 is, do you use bookmarks or random pieces of paper? Definitely random pieces of paper. I will literally use anything as a bookmark. And I have some nice bookmarks, and I never use them because I don't want to like lose them or damage them. So I just end up using mostly library receipts, honestly. And bonus is that it reminds me when the book is due back to the library. So, it's a win-win. I will use sticky notes. I will use random scraps of paper that I find. Yeah, pretty much anything. Rarely ever like an actual honest-to-God bookmark. Question number 3 is, can you stop reading in like the middle of a sentence, or do you have to finish the paragraph or chapter? Or the way I wrote this one down just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Basically, do you have to like finish a chapter a certain number of pages? Yes, most of the time. I prefer to finish the chapter I'm on. It just feels nice to say, okay, I finished this many chapters, and plus you're not like in the middle of a scene, like where you stopped story-wise. But if I really am pressed for time, or if I just feel really fatigued, like I'm not going to be able to get through this chapter, particularly if it's a long chapter, I will find either the nearest section break, if the book has section breaks, or just the bottom of the next page. Question number 4, can you eat or drink while reading? Eat, no, because either I want to like hold it with both hands and focus on the food and not the book, or I'm afraid of like getting crumbs and stuff on the book. And since I generally borrow library books, like that's not good. So generally no eating, but drinking, yes. I love having a nice beverage when I'm reading, especially coffee or tea. Sometimes a nice adult beverage like a glass of wine or a beer, books and beer. Yeah. So I'll drink while reading, just kind of sip on something. It's very relaxing, especially with coffee. So, well, I guess it's counterintuitive, huh? Oh well. All right, number 5. Do you multitask while reading, like listening to music or watching TV? TV, no. I don't know how people can like watch TV and read at the same time. Basically you just do one or the other, right? But like having that background noise, no. I'm gonna probably pay attention to the TV more than the book, unless it's something really boring, like I don't know, for example, tech videos. No, actually, sometimes I'm gonna be interested in those, but no television or movies while reading. Music, though, I will sometimes listen to music with lyrics. Doesn't always work. Depends on the music. If it's like good background music, like something like softer, not super upbeat. My favorite things to listen to are either classical music and lo-fi hip hop. That is actually what I generally put on. I'll like cast it to the TV, and you know the one, you've seen it probably. If you haven't, it's always going on YouTube, so go check it out. Question number 6. One book at a time or several at once? I really should only read one at a time. In a perfect world, I'd be able to read a bunch at once and it'd be great. Realistically, I'm reading like 2 or 3 at any given time. Well, yeah, usually one ends up getting more attention than the others, you know, like a favorite child, generally the one that I'm the most interested in. So it's not really like, I don't really like reading 3 books at once because it just feels like my attention's pulled all these different ways, but I mean, like, feasibly, like, just kind of what happens. I just commit to too much, so yeah, whatever, I guess. Number 7 is, do you read at home or everywhere? I mostly read at home, and probably this right now is, you know, mostly because of the world we currently live in. Back when things were normal, I really did like reading. The library was my first choice. I didn't usually get to spend like an entire afternoon there, but if I was like there doing some work and I had some extra time, I would pull out a book, either go get one or, you know, read whatever one I had at the time. Question number 8 is, do you read out loud or silently? Silently, definitely, like in my head, but given the chance, I might actually read out loud. If I'm reading out loud to someone, I wouldn't read out loud to myself. So like my significant other has suffered through me reading out loud like various drafts of things I've written. So I could probably do that with an actual published book that someone else wrote that we were both enjoying. That would be pretty fun. But it'd be like, you know, read aloud time. Wouldn't be like just me reading out loud to myself. Though, you know, just love the sound of my own voice, obviously. So number 9 is, do you read ahead or skip pages? Yes, I'm very guilty of this actually. I am the person that will skip to the end sometimes because I'm impatient, or I will skim through the book to see if things that I want to happen, like characters kissing and whatnot. And then once I see it, if I see it, and generally you do if you go looking, one of 2 things will happen. Either I will be like, ooh, I've got to read now to get to that point, or, oh, I've learned the spoiler, I already know what's going to happen. What's the point in reading on? So it's a really bad habit. I'm so guilty about it. Oh my God. Question number 10. Do you break the spine or keep it like new? I buy most of my books used for exactly this reason, because if I bought them new, I wouldn't want to break the spine or otherwise make them look used. I wouldn't want them to get, like, even though the newer ones, that, okay, these 2 are used, but like this one I bought new and it has scuffs. Like all the books have scuffs. So you just kind of, like, I prefer them to already come pre-scuffed so that I'm not the one scuffing. Does that make sense? Like, I want the spine pre-cracked. I don't want to be the one to crack it. Yeah, so that's my rationale. Otherwise, I'll just want to keep them looking super pretty, and they're just not going to, realistically, if you are actually reading them, which some I don't. So they are in pristine condition. Should go crack some spines. Question number 11, the final question. Do you write in your books? Depends. I will write in books that I own. Well, I guess that you better not be writing in your library books. But I only write in books when I have a reason to. Like, I don't just do it anytime I'm reading a book. Like, if I'm reading one for a video, I will annotate. Or if I'm reading one because I want to write something about it, then I will also annotate. Otherwise, I don't. I really don't, and I don't care. But more often than not, I will do sticky notes. I brought an example, but then again, this is a library book, so I better be using sticky notes, and I will just sticky note. I honestly am better at annotating these fictional pieces of literature than I was my college reading material when you were supposed to annotate everything, and you could write in your rental textbooks. I did leave some interesting, funny notes in some of those textbooks, though, so I hope that the poor, innocent undergrads that get those textbooks next are at least partially entertained, but more likely they're just like, what the hell? So yeah, that is that is it. That is the end of the reading habits tag. So hopefully you learned a little something. And tell me what your reading habits are down in the comments. Tell me like if any of mine are weird to you or if any of mine are familiar to you. And it's fun because everybody's so different when it comes to like how they read and stuff. And I know that I have some weird quirks. So until next time, keep it weird. Like, comment, subscribe, I guess. Sure. Like, comment, and subscribe if you like my llamas and want to see more of those. And I will see you in the next video. So. For God's sakes, child, why can you not just go away? Come here. No? Okay, fine. Won't play tennis ball with you then. Okay.